The Joe Rogan Experience.
And I feel like there's a lot of this like top down on the left. And I'm not trying to just like bag on the left. I don't care really about that. Like, I don't even care about the politics. I care more about like where the cultural liquidity is. And it's like, you can't talk down to people. There's this like Ivy League pretentiousness in the Democratic Party, I feel, where they're like, we know better, and just, you must be stupid if you don't agree with us. And it's like, all right, well, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. Yeah. I'm dumb then. So why doesn't somebody meet me where I'm stupid and start at least making me feel like I'm not an asshole for the way that I, for my, I guess you could say, political leanings now. Yeah, I feel like they need to meet. And it's a very simple thing. Make it a class issue, and I think they win. And say what you want about America, but I think it's better if we have two people running for president that we're stoked about, and it's a really hard decision.
Oh, yeah. That would be wonderful. Yeah, that's not what we had. We had one group of people that legitimately wanted to change things, and then we're going to see what happens if they do. But you're seeing weird stuff today that you never see before, which is like a real adjustment to the age of the internet. One of the things you're seeing is, I don't know if you saw the 22 different Congress people who were all saying the exact same line with the word shit in it.
What was the line?
So it's like, it's this speech. They're reading it verbatim. Yeah. They're all reading it and doing it to a microphone as if it's a rant. But they're all doing from the same script, and the shit ain't right.
So this is
the shit ain't right is the beginning of it. When in the history of the United States
has a politician
said shit?
Yeah.
And not just one, but 22 of them in tape record. Can you pull it up just so we can see it? Because it's so nuts.
This is think
when
tank
you see
politics.
them all together. It's just. Like they have it on screens as tiles, and they're all saying the same words. They all have their own little flair they put on it.
Yeah.
Look at this. Put your headphones on. This is fucking bananas.
Terrible. It's hard to listen.
It's okay. You won't be able to, you can't really tell. It's like a crowd. But when they had three of them, when it was the first three, was like, it was Chuck Schumer and someone else.
Yeah.
They're saying the exact, Elizabeth Warren and someone else.
Yeah.
They're saying the exact same words.
Yeah.
In the exact same subjects, in the exact same order. You guys are all reading off a script, and you're trying, by putting the word shit in there, to be authentic.
Well,
shit ain't right.
To be specifically authentic. They're like, we need to speak to working class people, to the kids.
Yeah.
And it is kind of like bigoted in a weird way where like, it feels like they're almost in a think tank like, hey, listen, these poor dummies, they like it when you curse.
Yeah.
So if you use a few curse words in your speech, they're going to really relate to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we actually need somebody disruptive. We need somebody on the left that might speak like that, but authentically speaks like that, and is willing to disrupt even what's happening on the left. Because if you look at like what happened with the Trump and the movement, like he disrupted the right. The right looks very different now than it did 5-10 years ago, right?
Definitely.
So I want like
a MAGA Democrat.
Yeah, like for real. Like and what is that? Like what do we at our baseline want, right? We like abundance. Tell me how great America is going to be in your version of it.
You want a Bill Clinton.
Talk that shit. Mm-hmm. Like come out talking shit. Bernie was talking shit, and I want you to come out, and if Trump can say we're going to take Greenland, there can be some Dem that goes $1 eggs and straight up says we're going to subsidize it.
How would you do that? You subsidize it?
Subsidize corn, you subsidize dairy, you subsidize everything. Like, why can we not subsidize it? But say something that's actually going to impact people. Now, Trump's not going to take Greenland, so maybe you don't get the $1 eggs, but you get this messaging across that you're actually trying to help people, and you're going to have to deal with those lobbies that are bankrolling you. And that might piss them the fuck off, but that's the disruption we need for us to trust you.
You know what they really should do?
What's that?
They really should have a strategic plan. If we're spending, $350 billion went to Ukraine. What was the number? What are they saying it was? I don't know what the number is. Some insane. Let's just be conservative and say $200 billion. Imagine if we spent $200 billion in the United States in all of the crime-ridden cities of the country, just completely overhauling them.
All right. So here's my concern about that, is how much did they spend in California on homelessness?
$24 billion.
And then like nothing changed, right?
No, they got worse. They did a good job.
Oh, awesome.
They did a good job.
Maybe we could spend $36 billion. You know, like, so there's also this idea that like the current administration in these places, even with an abundance of money, is not going to make change. So you need somebody from inside, from the left, to go, hey, these people are corrupt. on my team, we're going to root out that corruption, but we are going to take care of homelessness. We are going to make eggs cheaper. We are going to build fucking 10,000 affordable housing units so that the price of, your rent can go way down. There has to be something disruptive instead of, hey, let's just go back to normal. Let's not ruffle any feathers.
Yeah,
I
see what you're saying. I reject the idea, though, that progress can't be had just because people have been corrupt and they've abused money before. I feel like you could farm it off to private corporations the same way we did with Halliburton during the Iraq War. What did they do with Halliburton? Got no bid contracts to rebuild Iraq.
Yep.
And they did it. They actually built all they built power plants they didn't need. There's like a lot of waste and weird shit that went on over there.
Yeah.
You could do that with the inner cities.
But
you could have
You're saying
contracts.
Halliburton did a good job?
No.
Oh.
Well, I'm just saying, like, they actually did get paid to rebuild cities, so you can get a private sector that would actually make money. It would become an industry instead of it being bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? Like, instead of it being something where it's like California, they're taking the homelessness, where nothing gets done but money keeps pumping into it.
Yeah.
No, the only way you get paid is based on results.
Ooh.
So you have a contract with incentives based on results.
Yes, and
So
that is the problem. There is no.
You have to lower crime. You have to lower crime. You have to lower juvenile detention rates. You have to improve education scores. You have to make food, healthy food, far more accessible. It would be very easy to open up enormous food pantries in the inner city and finance it in comparison to the amount of money we spend on other countries doing transgender monkey studies, or whatever the fuck we do. The stuff they do is nuts, like $20 million to Sesame Street in Iraq. Like, it's bananas.
Yeah.
So just, if you've got enough money for that,
Yeah.
you've got enough money to set up food banks in every fucking city where poor people can get nutritious food.
Yes.
Just sign on, have a driver's license, whatever the fuck you need, you get your food.
And what are the downstream effects of that? Like, you have way less health issues, which takes down the cost of health care.
Well, also, people aren't desperate because you can actually always eat. This is a problem that Democrats have right now.
What's that?
Is that the Trump administration, what they're uncovering with DOGE, like all this waste and fraud and abuse, whatever you want to categorize it as, and I'm sure there's a bunch of things that fall into different categories.
Yeah.
But the Democrats aren't acknowledging that it's a problem at all.
Well,
they're not saying when you find this building in San Antonio that they spent $2 billion on it, it's completely empty, and it's getting $1 million a month or whatever the fuck it's getting, and where's that money going?
Yeah, the tricky thing about this, the DOGE thing is like there. I don't think there's any American out there that is supportive of waste, fraud, and corruption. It should be a bipartisan issue, right?
Right.
Like, it's a very easy thing to get on board with.
Right.
And this is where I feel like Elon's being a little antagonistic. I have a lot of respect for Elon, don't get me wrong, but like, it's becoming easier to be a bipartisan issue in the way that it's communicated. Whereas like having that like political decorum, like having that ability to pull everybody into this thing might be a little bit more effective on an issue that we can all get behind. There's no American that wants waste, fraud, and corruption. I hate that this is becoming bipartisan. It drives me fucking crazy because on the surface, nobody wants the waste.
Right.
Like, both Democrats should be, they shouldn't be booing or whatever the fuck was happening at that like hearing last night. Even hearing, he was like addressing the Senate.
Right.
This shouldn't
State
be.
of the Union.
It should be everybody going, hey, we agree this is fucked up. This is happening in some of our regions or whatever it is, like where you're responsible for those constituents. What's that called? If you're a congressman, your district. We need to be better about this. We need to fix this. We got to take this on the chin, and we agree. And it could be this great revolution in America that could really support everybody. And it's become this fucking bipartisan issue. And I understand there's like a lot of currency in like making the opposition look radioactive. I get that. But this is where you wish that there was like this some sort of masterful communication version of this instead of a little bit more of like this like putting the knife in and twisting it a little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree on both sides. I think people are really foolish spending all their time just attacking the ideas of the other party instead of promoting really good ideas of your own.
Amen.
And the thing about this whole DOGE thing is it's such a lightning rod. And one of the reasons why it's such a lightning rod is because these politicians are being pressured to try to keep a lot of the spending, because a lot of the spending is it's all shenanigans. It's moving around to thousands of different NGOs, and you're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars that were going somewhere. So people were profiting. People had jobs, and they want to keep all those jobs. They want to keep that money flowing in, even the bullshit money, as much as they can. So there's fucking court orders, and there's lawsuits, and the Supreme Court just stopped a $1.9 billion freeze on something. There's something that just came up. It was today. So there's like legal battles about all this stuff. You're going to have a lot of confusion in that regard. But I think it's important. One of the things they're doing is they're highlighting the ridiculous things. Like they're highlighting the $250 million on transgender animal studies.
Yeah.
$4.7 trillion that they can't account for.
The way that he was saying it. Did you watch it? I mean, it's hilarious.
I did.
Oh, you got to watch him talk about it.
I'm sure it's amazing, and I will watch. I just didn't have. I was busy last night, but it's like there's also a way to really clearly express to people that there's legitimate use for aid. And this isn't really USAID. It's United States Agency for International Development. If you're worried about foreign aid, I fully, completely agree. We should spend money in third world countries building wells. We should spend money trying to get food to poor people.
And that's not what this program is
right. That's not what this is about. Yeah. And if it's about like
this is exercising
healthcare
soft
for
power.
people and providing free clinics for people in impoverished areas, yeah, we should spend on that. But also, that's not where this money's going. A lot of this is regime overthrowing money.
Yeah.
This is regime change money. A lot of this is like money that's being propped up. They're sending money to the Taliban every fucking week.
Right.
Like this is crazy. Like you have to understand what this really is. So what we have to do, I think, as Americans is, look, you got a president. He's your president, whether you like it or not. That's your president for 4 years. Let's hope he does a great job.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want him to do a great job?
Yeah.
He's the captain of the ship. I don't want to hit the rocks.
Yeah.
Let's hope he gets us into a beautiful harbor.
Absolutely.
So together, that doesn't mean the Democrats can't win in 4 years, but you can't win doing this. You can't win all saying this shit ain't right, and then all of you say the exact same thing. Well, now I know who's on the take. Now I know who's got the script. Now I know who doesn't have a fucking mind of their own.
Yeah.
You have to read the script that whatever corporate daddy filed onto your desk.
It's think tank politics.
They need a real leader, and those real leaders are all pussy hounds, and they're all gonna. That's the problem. They all got skeletons.
Yeah, it's got to come from outside. Yeah, I wonder, like,
or they got to be a guy like Trump who could take the hits. And keep on trucking.
You need to have like a very strong constitution to do that.
I don't understand his constitution.
What do you mean? You go through the same shit.
Yeah, but his is beyond. They shot him, dude.
Yeah, they haven't shot you yet.
Not only did they shoot him yet, not
you
only
perform inside. That's the problem.
That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
But not only did they shoot him, but people forgot about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And to this day,
moving right along. He didn't get shot enough.
To this
day,
day,
people were talking about his ear.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, but it doesn't look that shot." And it's like,
there's so many people that think that he rigged it, that he did it on purpose, that he staged it.
Yeah, he staged
like,
a bullet coming,
nicking his ear. Like
on.
they don't understand accuracy.
Come on.
Especially with iron sights. You know, he didn't even
What
have
does
a
that mean?
scope on the rifle.
So
iron. Do you know what iron sights
No.
are? Okay. So like, say if you have a pistol.
Yeah.
At the back of the pistol, where the handle is.
Yeah.
There's these.
Oh, the little
this
thing that
plate
you're supposed
like
to look
this,
through, yeah.
And then there's a little post at
Yeah.
the front, and you line the two of them up like that.
yeah,
And he's shooting 140 yards with iron sights.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just nick someone's ear.
Yeah.
You'll hit their fucking head. You'll
Yeah.
blow their brains out
Yeah.
accidentally.
how much do you have to account for gravity at that distance?
You don't.
Okay.
That's really short. That's a short distance. That's why you can like put the post on it. If you wanted to go long distance, then you would want a scope. You want a high-powered scope, and you would also use ballistic software.
What is
Ballistic software is like you would apply. Like there's like a watch that has it built in, actually. The Garmin Tactics X.
Okay.
Tactics 8, rather.
Shout out Garmin.
So you would take this ballistic software, you calculate the distance. So you would use a rangefinder, which he had, by the way. He had a fucking he was walking around with a rangefinder before they saw him with a rangefinder. They didn't even arrest him. Somebody let him on that roof. They fucking gave him that gun. That's what I think.